Savuke kuseni ngo-76 sayofuna abafundisi obacece.
What's happening, fellow of seas? Sunny Bonani, Molweni, Dumelanga, Shini, hello, to my Dekwani, to my entire beloved and diverse South Africans. My name is Promise Mufukeng and welcome to the Promised Land. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment on the comment section. Well, on tonight's show, we get to know a political giant from the University of the Free State campus. Moyana is in the building. Well, some of you know him as the former chairperson of SASCO, while others know him as an assistant for IRSG and many other things that Moyana has done. He's a BA political science student at the University of the Free State. And welcome to my show, my guy.
No, thanks, my guy. All is well.
Awesome. It's very sad that we need to meet under these conditions that are happening in South Africa right now.
Yeah, it's really very sad, my guy, because remember, what is happening currently is it's not really something that one can be proud of being an African or being a man in South Africa, because what is happening, it's a crisis that has been built up for long period, and no one is able to address those issues, especially the issue of gender-based violence. These things have been happening previously and will only rise to social media when it happens. And after a period of time has elapsed, nothing's done about that. And you look at the issue of xenophobic attacks upon African brothers, you will therefore understand that as Africans we need each other. We are brothers and sisters, because even as countries we need each other, because no country can live in isolation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what do you think is actually the problem, especially when it comes to gender-based violence?
No, the problem when it comes to gender-based violence, I don't want to sugarcoat the problem, but the problem lies with the man. But however, the problem lies with the man is not primarily because a man is an evil person, but I would like to sensitize this issue looking at the system, right? Because let's say we come up with this thing of saying hashtag men are trash. Now, I do believe that yes, men are trash, but however, we are using a blanket approach, because not every man who does gender-based violence. There are men who actually respect women and do things according to the book and do things how it should be done. But we have then certain individuals who are men who are doing things that is unacceptable. But the problem is then, when we're looking at this, the system, the African system, back then has taught a man to be dominant over a female. And that on its own has created a culture where a man feels that he's not equal towards the other gender. Well, it's not like that. We are all equal. But the problem is that we need, therefore, to deconstruct this kind of culture, to say we must all be equal and understand our position, that when I look at the female counterpart, it's not something that I seem to be to have a dominant capacity over, but someone that I can refer to as equal partner.
And I honestly feel like we're gonna be called trash until there comes a point in life where men take a stand against gender-based violence themselves. Do you understand?
You know,
because right now women are saying, it's not every man. It's like you're not written on the forehead that no, this one is not abusive, or this one is cannot commit sexual violence or whatever. So I feel like we're always gonna be painted with the same brush all the time until we take a stand against this whole gender-based violence. Because women can talk and express themselves. If men are not willing to take a stand against this, nothing's gonna happen.
So you see, the problem, Promise, is that even men themselves, they're like hypocrites. They condone these things on social media, yet that the main perpetrator towards these things. So as men, we're still going to continue to be called men are trash until, as you say, that we need to take a stand. How then do we do this? We must sensitize each other as men. You know, I like the fact that remember the first event you hosted with the first years, sort of like a men's conference, whereby men should come together, because the problem is not with the female. The reason why people got raped is not because to a point where they say I'm not asking for it. Yes, indeed, they're not asking for it, but it comes from a man's perspective when looking at the things. I remember Hubert Angel once said, the eyes of a man, they can remove a skirt, or like, even if the skirt is a concrete, is able to remove and see what's inside.
Yeah.
So in other words, whether, because this thing of saying once a girl is being raped, what were you wearing?
Yes. Why were you there at night?
Why were you there?
Yeah.
It's not about that question. Is that the problem lies with the man. So us as men, we must come to a position where we need therefore to sensitize one another to say, we must not perpetuate violence against women. Because this issue of sex, you must agree with someone. But if say a girl says no, because us guys were that kind of mentality of saying, she might say no, but she wants it.
Yeah.
Okay. When she said no, I continued, we ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it's not the case. Also, if a woman say no, the no must come from saying this is a no. And as a man, you must respect that notion that at this moment she's not willing.
Yeah.
So let it be like that.
Yeah, I think you have a point. Okay, let's come to this then. I don't know. Do you remember the first time we met each other?
Yeah, not really, but I remember those days. I think that was 2016. Yeah. But remember when you arrived, when you were on the different sides.
Yeah.
When I arrived in 2016, I used to be an EFFSC member, and that's what people usually say. Would say, "Ada, you jump ship from EFFSC, you go to."
That cannot be trusted.
That cannot be trusted. But people, therefore, they don't understand the reason me becoming an EFFSC. Remember, EFF was formed in 2013. The reason why some of us joined EFF back then is that we have this mentality. We love Julius Malema. The guy was admirable. We love that man. So
since he was from the ANC.
Yeah, since he was from the ANC
Yeah.
clique. So when he was expelled from the ANC clique, what then happened is that we were disgruntled, and we said, no, it can't be. We even protested back home about this guy. So what then happened is that when you formed a party, we said, no, we're going to follow him. But as someone my politics is based on an ideology. So I've looked further the ideology of the EFF. So the ideology of the EFF does not align with my principle.
With your principles.
Because I have a vision when it comes to these things of politics. So that's why then I didn't last in the EFFSC. When I get here, I think by around June, I then went back to SASCO.
I remember the first time I saw you, the first time I met you, it was indeed in 2016. This was before I enrolled for political science.
Okay.
I enrolled for political science in 2017. But you were very famous in the political science class that I was planning to enroll for the following year.
Yeah.
That there's this guy who's very radical in class and everything. Because the likes of Moyana were doing the same module with you. And what on inside everyone, you know. And I was like, okay. But at that time, I feel like you were sort of a threat a lot. Not only to first year students who were your peers at that time, but also to senior students who thought they are very politically active. Because of your dominant persona when you enter the room and when you make your point, do you understand? Because I feel like how the brand Moyana, what you are now, it started in class. A political science, because even before I saw you, I was like, no, I want to see this guy, because everyone was talking about it. My friends, both friends, were saying, there's this very guy who's very powerful, guys. And then later I saw you in SASCO. I was like, okay, fine. Now I see why SASCO really wanted this person.
Yeah, but
where does that come from, Ma? Where does those characteristics of you come from?
Yeah, the thing is, there's this thing what we call the charisma and the character. So I happen to have a charisma of saying, even back then in high school, I had the ability to lead because I was given an opportunity and I was leading. So everyone was saying, no, you are doing the right thing, you are doing the right thing. So when I took the gap year and I began to teach, even when I was teaching, we'll go to a meeting, the principal will call the meeting. At some point, the principal, I felt that he called me and said, you want to take my position? I said, no, it can't be like that, principal. Because I saw the way you were talking in the meeting, you are oppressing me and all that. No, I'm like, no. It's not like I'm really oppressing you, but it's that I'm a person of, if there's an agenda that we're pushing, let's go through that agenda. And that agenda must be there for in the benefit of the students. So at that particular time, I wanted everything to be the benefit of the learners. So I really become their advocate. So that's where this thing started.
So you've always been a very active human being.
I've been very active. So when I get here, remember I was then part of the EFFSC. So when I arrived here, I had made contacts. I was checking on the Facebook. Okay, I'm going to your first talk. I'm checking there, who are the guys for EFFSC. Then I saw the likes of Otumelo, he's no longer here, and Gumed.
Yeah.
So when I called them while I was still back in Mpumalanga, I said, I'm coming that side fighters. So when I then I arrived at the university, we met beside the side of Mandela Hall. We spoke. It was before I even registered. We spoke and we said, no, we're going to build this thing. So this thing has always been there. So I met with the likes of Gumed, who were engaging. So when I started attending classes, we went to the political science class. So when we were there, the lecture came, it's Bianca. Then she arrived, she'd be like, today we're going to elect the class representative. So people who want to must come and present. Then I was sitting next to this other girl. She's no longer here due to some circumstances. So this girl said to me, I said, I want to go and present. She said, no, go. So she became a motive. So she motivated me. Then I went to the front, when I just opened my mouth, I'll be like, greetings to you guys. I will be here doing this and this and this and that. I saw the class, all of them.
I remember, before this is the first time I felt saw you, and a friend told me was the
so after that, I knew it's I've won this. So I think the runner-up had about 14 votes, while I was above 100. So that was all. Yeah,
already you have masses at that level. Already you have masses. But then again, then you moved to SASCO.
Yeah.
And you did a very good job. I think in the 4 years I've spent in this institution, I don't think there's someone who has done it so who has done so good for the organization like that. Sometimes I wonder, do you sometimes sit down and be like, Mara, I'm a big deal?
Not at all, because I haven't reached a stage that I want to be. So when I joined SASCO, remember on that particular year we lost the election. That was 2016. So the following year I arrived very early in January. When I arrived very early, because one thing about me, I have the interest of the students at heart. So upon our arrival, I was assisting students from day one at SASCO office, applying for them, doing these things, help NSFAS and all those things. And those things were done in the interest of a good heart, as a goodwill. And by then I didn't even know that SASCO is a program of the Right to Learn campaign, where in January we have to assist students. But I was there, and later on comrades joined, and we started a recruiting drive, say, let's give out membership, And one thing about me, I'm not much eager in leading on the front side. I like to just sit and become an advisor to say, comrades, we can do this. So what happened then is that in May we were going for an AGM. So comrades were lobbying each other, telling them that, okay, this one's going to be the chairperson, who's going to be like that. It was 3 a.m. in the morning toward the day of the AGM. So I was talking to Comrade Fez, and she'd be like, Comrade Arthur, why don't you contest in the AGM? I feel like you have the capacity. I said, my leader, I hear what you're talking about. Let's see what people decide.
Yeah.
Then on that morning, I met the likes of Comrade Nyoga, and Comrade Tao. So they said to me, no, we think you have the capacity to lead. And I thought, but here I didn't lobby. There are people who are lobbying for the previous week, and these people are ready, and I don't know what's going to happen. But I said no, because it's not about leading. But one thing about me, I do not like to contest and lose. So, but however, we went to the AGM, was then elected as the chairperson of SASCO. On that night, what I decided to do is I came up with a 5-year plan. I said, this is where I want to take SASCO from today to reach this goal.
Wow.
So in this plan, we said I want the SRC, we want to maintain winning the SRC for the next coming 3 years. However, this year we did not manage, but the plan was actually more fulfilled.
Yeah.
Because I was saying, okay, let this happen. And I had also planned to say, one day I want to lead the University of the Free State. But however, due to unforeseen circumstances, we can't anymore. So what I did, I said, okay, the first SRC, this was going to come. We are going to, after this one will be a foundation. Then the second SRC will be built up. The third one, I'm going to finish it. So that was the plan. So even if you recall, on that AGM, I did say this way, say, we're going to build SASCO that shall never lose power. And this became our slogan until the election, that we're building SASCO that shall never lose power. And that was the plan. And I had a strong PC.
You did?
From the secretary, treasurer, the deputy chairperson, all of us, even though sometimes we had quarrels, but it's not fights that you would see outside. And I remember we used to fight. People used to cry in SASCO office. But outside, if they will cry today and tomorrow we have an event, and when you find us at the event, we are all here to smile at each other. Because that's what I say to them, that this guy is not personal. We are here to build an organization. But if you attack each other, because there's this thing that they call it faction in politics. I want to tell you something. I'm not a factional person. But what I've learned during my term is that there are certain people who believe that, okay, Ada is from that faction. And those people from that faction will believe that Ada is from that faction.
Simply because you hang around with someone.
I hang around with all of them. And when I engage with them, it's not about to talk about the other faction. It's about to talk about how do we build an organization. That's why our branch was the only branch that was united. Because this thing of factionalism really is an organization.
So, and then as the chairperson of SASCO, then there comes a point where the organization needs to contest elections. So you knew very well that it's going to be a whitewash. Because now, after that, you became famously known as the chairperson of whitewash.
Yeah. You remember?
That became, I don't know, like a term in this campus. So.
Yeah. You know what happened? I remember before election, on our campaign, our slogan was that 7-0, we're going to win 7 seats. That one, I was pretty sure. You know why I was pretty sure? Remember, previously in that SRC, it was led by Sadesmo, which the presidential candidate was President Moyana. So President Moyana is a good person indeed. He's a good person. But however, when it comes to politics, remember, here we are contesting the student governance power. So what was happening is that I was very close to him. So at some point, he could ask me things. How do we do this, leader? How do we remember the other stuff that happened before election? He then asked us even to address the gathering.
Yeah.
So that was using the art of war. Bring your enemy closer. So when the enemy is closer, you are able to know what are the weaknesses here. So we discovered a lot of things. So during that time when we discovered that, remember there is this time whereby the SRC, the issue of 35,000 students, weighed 35,000 in their accounts. So the president and the SRC together went to management and tried to negotiate this issue. And the solution was not favorable to the students. So as SASCO, I said to the secretary, set up the meeting with the management. And we never met them before, but the management allowed, okay, come, let's hear you. So when we get there, we presented the issues of students. And then we told them that, look, this is what needs to be done. It's to a point where we're advising them how they need to make students happy at all times. So after that meeting, we released a statement that, no, we've engaged. And those students who are disadvantaged because they have 35,000, they'll be covered. And that is going to happen. You will later receive the email from the university. And later, indeed, they receive the email from the university. So that was showing that SASCO does not need only to be in office in order to work for the students. Even if you're not in office, but if the mandate is to work for the students, you must do the job. So
must do the job.
that's what we're doing.
And I feel like at that time when Mwali was the president, you was the biggest opposition to Mwali all the time.
Yeah.
I think he can attest, whoever he is, that it was not easy for him to be the president, especially to have somebody who's opposition like you and Fezile, because of everyone who was a student here knew that there has to be something that's going to happen on social media that has to involve the president of the SRC and Moyana. And I think that's how you gained more momentum through that. Was it also a strategic move to say, I need to keep an eye on this president and use an opportunity in case, use an opportunity that...
Remember, he had won election. So in other words, majority of most of the students voted for him. So the issue was that, okay, you need to be closer to this person. So when you are closer to this person, you're going to see all the mistakes that is happening. And when you say mistake, shout about it, shout about it. You know, so that on its own, you are painting the person to these people. And when you shout about it, provide an alternative to say, because this is happening, if we have this, we cannot have this. So that's what we were doing. Remember, to a point, you also tried to be strategic, and he appointed me as the deputy speaker of the Students' Parliament. But remember, the speaker was from Sadesmo, and we worked very well together. So, in that also, during those days, you would remember that he then resigned as a speaker, the guy, before the State of the Nation of the campus address. So what happened during that time, we were looking to say, okay, what are the weaknesses? Because we would sit in the piece and say, okay, remember, I'm the deputy speaker here, and we're going to the State of the campus address. This day is a do or die for SASO. If we're going to win election, we're going to win them during the State of the campus address. That's what I said. If we're going to win, we'll win it during the State of the campus address. So we then had to groom our BC members that when they get there, they must ensure that they ask questions that are relevant and that raise the issues of the students. So what happened then, because he knew that I was going to then be the speaker on the day, he went and brought back the guy even after he resigned. So the notion with the members of SASCO was that they know that the guy has resigned as the speaker.
Why is he chairing this?
Why is he chairing? So when he gets to the auditorium, every time when he wants to speak, students are saying, you resigned, go out. So on that, members of SASCO would make noise in their majority when this one tried to speak. But when I just raised my hand, one of them would hand.
I don't know what
So that on its own gave us an opportunity to say, students gain trust for us to be able to lead them. So after the State of the campus address, I knew, with this one,
you're going to be the chairperson of Whitewash.
It's going to be,
okay.
We need to break history.
And, okay, you know what, one other thing, because I also got to work with you on certain things, and I've said this to the other friend of mine the other day, and I was like, when I was telling him I'm going to have an interview with him, and he was like, no, this guy is very brilliant. I'm like, he's very good. But there's one thing I didn't like about you at all. And it was because of, I was, and not in a bad way though.
Yeah.
It is that you want to assist so much that you don't care, as long as you see someone else sharp. And I said this to my one day the other day, I was like, Arthur we used to abuse us a lot when we were in the SRC, because every time when we were trying to breathe, Arthur would enter with the student and say, assist this person, and make sure that this person is assisted all the time. And my one was like, even when you're in your room, I'm tired, I don't want to do anything today. But then I know, even if it means I'm not in the SRC chambers, I'm in my room, Arthur is just going to pop up with someone and say, you must assist this person. And I've realized this is because of you. I feel like you were just born to serve.
That's what most people tells me. Sometimes I even forget about myself.
Exactly.
And then had to focus on other people.
Yeah.
So, but what drives me to do that is that because I grew up, I grew up in harsh conditions, and majority of people have helped me to be where I am today. So I feel like most people that helped me, I can't go back to them and say thank you because they're even far from me. So I need to assist someone because they taught me that assisting someone who's not even closer to you helps growing the nation. So that's why I'm more indebted in assisting other people. So,
you know, when you say that, remember I told you I was stalking you and I was going through some of the things you said back in the days, and you said something like along the lines of, a lot of people helped me to be where I am today, and I might not be going to them in person to say thank you, but every day it is my prayer that they always have enough. And what you're saying right now, it takes me back to what you said. I don't know, it was around 2017 when you said that on Facebook as I was going through your social media platform. So who do you have other people that you think are much well known who've assisted you to become the person that you are today, and you also you don't have an opportunity to go back to them and say, you know what, thank you very much for what you did?
Yeah, because I remember I once got an incident whereby I was traveling from Mpumalanga coming to Free State. It was during the holidays of September, I think. Yeah. So there was a strike. It was after a strike, so students, we went home. So when I was home, the strike it was over. Then they said you must come back. So on my way, I took a hike. So when I took a hike, I had my phone, the man that they had gave me home, everything. And the primary reason of taking a hike was that I need to save some of the money that when I get to school I'll be able to use. So during the hike, as I was traveling with this guy, it was two old men, so they were conversing there. So what they said to me was that, look my son, I have a hangover, so I need to get to the garage and buy something. It was like after we have traveled for like 5 kilometers. So we get to the garage, they were looking for alcohol according to what he was saying. Then he came back with the juice. So when we were in the car, I noticed something because he opened that side and after opening there were guns there. So I looked at those things in shock. Then he closed. So he pretended to be drinking juice and said, I can't take this. I need real alcohol. My son, can you please drink? Then I knew myself that this thing, that there's poison. But there are two things that are going to happen. This is a drug. It might make me to sleep. But the gun, I might not survive. Then I took the juice. As I was drinking, the guy was like, no. Yeah, please be fast. I need that empty. I need to give it to my kids back at home. Then I drank the juice. I do not know what happened. The next time I woke up, I was in the Road Ferreira Hospital. Apparently, the paramedics took me on the road, and that's what happened.
So your choice is to drink poison instead of
a gun. Because I knew this guy will finish me here. So let me just drink this thing. After that, when I woke up in the morning, then I was like, flip. Okay, this is what happened. Then they took me to the social work because I told them, no, I was going to school and all these things. They took me to social work. Then they took me to government complex. I met this lady. This lady, I don't even know her. But we still have contact though. So this lady, when I told her what happened when I was dogged by the social worker from the hospital, she took me to the MMSC. We then started talking there and there, telling them my issue. And she said she was busy, she's leaving, I must talk to this lady. So that lady literally took me like I'm her son.
Wow.
I'm his son, actually. Wow. Took me that way. Because I remember I had lost all my clothes that were in my bag. I lost the money, I lost my phones, I lost the laptop. She bought me everything. She bought me clothes, and some of the clothes I still have them today. She bought me everything. So that kind of help to me says, this lady does not know me. But what motivates her to do this is something that is that question to me says something even today, that whenever I see someone struggling,
you need to do
I want to be there. So this thing of assisting comes from that side.
And again, I think you also have a very strong work ethic. You guys are a very strong work ethic. And I'm saying this because of when I was deployed by SASCO in the SRC, you were the chairperson of SASCO. And the reason why I forever say that it wasn't easy at all, it was because of we had a strong BEC that was used to push us every time so that we don't feel comfortable at all in the SRC chambers. And when during our inauguration, you said something. You said, like I said during manifestos last year, that I give you the best team in the world, and this will be seen by their work. And after what you said, now as I reflect as to how it was being in that SRC office all the time, I remember, you were that person who pushed us to to work because of you knew very well, or you also have masses that are waiting for you to account outside because you promised. Do you think that you have ever deployed SRC that did not actually meet your expectations?
No.
Or has it been difficult for you? Was it also difficult for you? Hence you had to push.
Remember, I'm someone who don't like to promise. I like commitment. So during our campaigns, we were going to students. And when we were there, we were telling them that what we are saying today is not a promise, but it's a commitment that we're going to do this. So I don't like disappointment at all. That's why I don't want to disappoint people or also myself. So what happened is that we promised students these things. So we must make it work. We must make it work. So when you guys went to the SRC, our plan was that, remember, we had the manifesto of things that we want to achieve. Now and then I'll come when we're in the meeting to say, guys, I want us to tick what have we done, so that when we are presenting the following year, remember we had a 3-year plan for the SRC, so that when we are presenting the following year, we'll say, we came, we told you that we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we've done this. So, but this, if there's something that we'll not finish, they will say, we're going to put it to the following year, and we're going then to continue, because transformation is a process. So that's what pushed us as the BC to always to want to engage the SRC to say, let's do this, let's do this. But the problem also, what I've seen that it becomes a problem is that when members of SASCO get into office, they distance themselves with an organization. There is no more link between SASCO and the SRC. While what is need to happen here, remember, SASCO is your ticket to SRC. In other words, SASCO as an organization, you guys are student governance. So in student governance, where do you take your mandate? You take your mandate from SASCO. So that's why I was always pushing to say, guys, you should take the mandate. And you would remember that even during manifesto, I was saying that these people I'm bringing to you, if they don't do what we are promising today, we will take them out. Because we wanted students to have faith and to ensure that this is going to happen. And by far, the SRC did exactly what we wanted it to be done. So that was the issue.
Because I think the reason why the SRC was able to do that, it was because of we were criticized a lot by the organization before the students. So the BEC, we knew, and that was a very good thing. It was a good thing to know that's going to come and criticize me. That helps me so that I'm prepared if someone else criticizes me who's from either the opposition party or anything. Which was, for now, it was quite a fruitful thing. I don't want to lie. And then with your student, you became very involved as a student activist. There comes a point where there are ups and downs, and the institution is now dealing with students and what and strike. You are also part of the people who are also, I don't know, should I call you a victim of the system of the University of the Free State or not?
That's why I always say when we are fighting a system, when we are fighting in the university, we must shy away from fighting people. Why do I say that? I don't want a strike that is led and says, let's say, it calls for the principal to fall. That kind of a strike, that's what I was always against, such things. But what I was pro to is that let's fight the system. But the system is operated by people. So when we fight the system, when the system falls with these people. That's how we take out people that are there. So me being much involved is that because I was part of many structures on campus here. I was the BMF finance officer. I was a student express secretary. I was also an assistant to RSJ and debate society. I was more involved there, and yeah, there are a lot of things that I was involved on campus. So my involvement, I think it exposed me to a certain extent, because I remember when we had a strike, because primarily what we do, because I believe that for students to therefore engage in a strike, it is after certain methods have failed. Because remember, even you guys, I would say go and engage management if there are issues. Remember, when you engage then in strikes, the management, these people are more for like a psychological people. They will then target individual. So in order to make sure that the strike does not continue, they target individuals.
The ones they know that are influential.
Yeah, the ones they know that are influential. So I remember I was arrested several times. I've slept at the police station 1 or 2 occasions because of fighting for students. So, but in those processes also, I've learned a lot of things in leading this campus in terms of this thing of protest. That most protests, yes, they yield results, but most of the process also does not yield anything. Rather, they bring a harm. They do more harm than it should be doing. It's good. So, in those narratives, it really affects one as a student. So that's why when you said how would you advise other students who want to be more political active, is that yes, be political active, but you must also remember why are you here and what are the things that you want to achieve as a person, and you must set yourself boundaries that if a situation reaches to this stage, I must then be able to move back.
So how has that impacted you, Mari?
Yeah, personally, it to me, I still don't regret because I was fighting a just cause. So I don't regret what happened to me. But at some point, as a person, you need solidarity. So, but solidarity is not something that you get from the students. That's what I've learned during this process. You will be arrested today, and Monday you appear in court. Few students will come to offer support, and for the next 5 to 6 appearances, you will be alone. You will be on your own, and you will be one who's affected personally. Secondly, is that although it affected me in a bad way at some point, I still believe that I learned something that I will use in the future when it comes to these issues. That you must never stop fighting for a just cause.
Yeah.
If it is a just cause, you must always be there.
Yeah. How would you explain your relationship with Professor Naidu?
Yeah.
He's quite clean, isn't he?
No.
He's very cool guy.
Yeah,
he's very cool.
Prof Knight he has a character and a charisma of a leadership. So most people will therefore ask, hey, how is Arthur close to Prof Naidu? And I'm not even close to Prof Naidu, but what connected us and Prof Naidu is the meeting I told you about that I said the secretary must set a meeting. So when you get there, after the meeting, you called me to say, can we have a one-on-one talk? So in that, I'm someone I analyze things. So what I learned from that day, that he was trying by all means to want to run a campus that is peaceful.
Okay.
And I moved towards this direction because he was asking, okay, what really is the problem? And I said to him, Prof, you know what is the problem? Is that management feels like they're in heaven, they're not on campus. Because these guys, they do not speak to students, they do not approach students. So that's why even there are a lot of students who don't even know today who's the principal of the campus, and they're about to finish their second year or third year. They don't even know who's the principal of the campus. But in leadership, if you want to be able to lead in a better way, you must be closer to the people you are leading.
Go to the people.
Yeah, you must be. I told to Prof that, you must just leave your office one day, go to DH, go to the media lab, see how students are doing day-to-day basis. I'm not saying they go there every day, but find time. You go to the ground, speak to ordinary students, find out what are their challenges. So in so doing, it builds your relationship. That's why even before students therefore get to engage in a mass demonstration, if you are closer to them, they will first come and say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? That will be their last resolution. But if they don't know who's management and they are told that, okay, the reason why we can't get this is because of management, they always resort to go to fight. But they don't even know who's that management.
Then I think the reason why you get along with him, or he get along with you, is because of he also learned a couple of things from you as a student.
Yeah, and I believe in this kind of life, one must continue to learn. So there are things that I know, and there are things that I don't know. So like that's why I was telling when Flon was contesting for president, I was saying to him, my leader, when you are there, what I want you to do, I want you to make sure that you engage students on the grassroots, because these are the students who knows the issues. So in so doing, you are going to learn from these students. What is the challenge on the ground? Because I know exactly that when you are in a position of leadership, you don't know exactly what is happening on the ground. If you don't go there, you would not know.
Yeah.
That's why you will always see statements to say, we are shocked by this and this. You can't, if you want to lead, you don't need to be shocked by things.
Yeah.
You must know things before they arrive. Like one said that in politics, you must be able to predict the future and be able to defend it when it does not happen the way you predicted. You see?
Wisdom, man.
So
Wisdom.
that is the problem that mostly, and I think that's what then connected me to Prof. Naidu, because I was saying to him, look, yes, these are the issues. It's like then let's say we begin a strike today, and then he calls me. I answer the phone. Okay, we talk. And I'll tell him that yes, students haven't received their meal allowance, and there's this and that, and that's and that. That's the reason we're fighting. And I will continue to fight. Because what also I think he has realized that, I'm not someone who can then, if I am fighting for a just cause, you will never deviate my focus. This is what is very important. That's why when people these days, the likes of, I don't want to mention names, but they'll say, hey, Arthur is a sellout, Arthur is a sellout. Oh, then ask a person, can you define what is a sellout in this context?
Because they never get to understand the reason why you are associated with certain people.
Because the reason why I associate myself with certain people is because I'm learning something from them. And in me learning something, because this is what I've learned in politics, that there are no free lunch in politics. You see, everyone who tends to give something wants to benefit now or later. So, my involvement with someone, it's always about talking, sharing wisdom. That's it.
Wow.
When I don't want things when they escalate, I'm not going to be part of it. But there are a lot of things that have happened, and you will find before that thing happened, I was no longer there, because I analyzed things and see, okay, this discussion might lead us to this certain stage. But that certain stage, it has bad or good consequences. If it has bad consequences, I'm not going to be there. You see? So that's what I will advise to people, that those people in the office, they're not monsters. So you can't say you don't want, because this is the problem that we have as students. If we don't think critically, we tend to have this kind of problem to say, if someone is pro or his proximity to certain individual, we tend to think that everything that they're going to do is going to be in the favor of the
You are a
No.
puppet or something.
You see, and that on its own does not work like that. You become a puppet when you want to be a puppet.
Let me share with my viewers something. I don't know if somebody knows this, but I did my research when I say speaking. Ada is a former teacher. That this clearly shows that everything he touches it just turns into gold. Who gets to be a teacher even before they enroll at a teacher institution? I mean, like for now, I was like, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
You became a teacher who was teaching history.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think the best in the district.
Yeah, he was the best in the second.
You imagine you were the best already, and you just only had matric. Take me through that. What was actually happening? How did you even get to that?
Yeah, you know, when I finished my matric, it was me and one of my best friends. Currently, is now a qualified teacher because he left earlier than me. So what happened then is that after I matriculated, by then I lost my father that very same year, and coming to university became a challenge. So one day, it was around March, I then went to the previous school, because it was a private school where I did my matric. So when I get there, there was an interview. He was interviewing teachers, the director there. He was interviewing teachers for history. So when I get there, when I left my place, I was going there to just go and ask him, I want to be able to come and assist the matriculants after classes and be with them and help them with history. So when I get there, he just laughed and be like, who told you, I need someone who's going to assist these people? And I said, no, I just felt like since I'm at home, I'm not doing anything, I can do something and be able to, while I'm waiting to go to university next year. And I was like, okay, fine. The principal is in that class of the grade 12s. So they are interviewing students. So you can wait, he will call you. I become very nervous and scared. Because remember now I'm about to go and then present to learners in a class and I did not even prepare. Then I said, wait for me. Went out, came back with the history textbook and said, prepare because the last one is busy now. And those people, remind you, their degrees. So what happened there, I got into the class, looking at my former principal, the other teachers who were teaching me, they're there. I was very scared. And some of the learners are my friends because we were together the previous year. They were in grade 11, I was in grade 12. Then on that situation, what happened to me on that day, that's when I realized that if something is ordained, it will happen. So what happened that day is that I was then given an opportunity to say, teach. I went there, I opened the textbook, but quickly I then asked them, which topic are you guys doing? Lucky enough, they were doing the Cuban Missile Crisis. And the previous year, I had enjoyed the Cuban Missile Crisis. I liked that part of history. So what happened then, I started teaching. I closed the book. I taught the Cuban Missile Crisis from the head. The board, I wrote until it was full. And I had noticed for the textbook was closed. So I saw the principal quickly went to the director's office while I'm still teaching. Then after teaching, I think I took about 20-25 minutes teaching. Then I left the class. So immediately when I get to the director's office, I found him standing. And he was like, congratulations. You are starting tomorrow, you'll be teaching grade 10, 11.
Wow. And how old were you?
Hey, my brother, I'm old. So then I'm going to teach grade 10, 11, and 12. Then I said to that, okay, it's fine. I remember by then you have to wear formal and all these things. It was a trouble. Then I had to adapt. Then
were they compensating you?
Yeah, I was compensated at some point because I taught for 3 years. At some point, remember it's a private school. You got around 7K, 4 or 5. Oh, so At some point, I was earning more than those were degrees. Because on that particular year, as I was teaching, I broke a history of 19 years. Because I was the first to produce 100%.
Bruh.
I produced 100%, all my grade 12 passed. Because I remember when I went to the final moderation of submitting the CAS mark, I met this white old man. So he wanted to give me trouble because they had told him that this guy, because at some point I was able to go and teach in public schools after classes and assist in history. So they told him that, hey, this guy is good, this guy is good. Because some teachers, by the way, they were coming to me from other schools for me to assist them with this thing of CAS. So I finished that thing. I submitted the CAS. So I was sitting this white old man. So it was like to me, to all these other people, you will ask them to say, bring your file and your file as a teacher and 3 files of the learners. You will choose for your own choice. Then to me, you just say, okay, bring all files of your learners. I had to carry 75 files to go there. Went there with all my 75 files, submitted the files. So he was checking randomly, only to find everything was intact and my file was the best. And he started questioning me, how did this student get the CAS of this nature? Why this one is small? And I said, it's according to their capacity. This is what the learner can afford and this is what they deserve. Then after that, in January, then I still have the trophy and the certificate. And the following year, what happened then is that the one who was the head of the district circuit in terms of the history, the subject head in the circuit, would then come to me and say, please, let's set a paper for August. And I will sit down with him and say, okay, let's take this source, let's do this, let's do this. Then I will submit. So that's why the principal was then threatened to say, when I want to take my job, I said, no, I want to go to university.
So you've been there, big guy.
I've been there. So the following year, I was supposed then to come to university, but then what had happened, I had then impregnated my then girlfriend, my baby mama. So what happened is she was also going to university that other year. So I said, no, you go to university. Let me be here and try to assist that at least the following year the baby won't need much of attention. I'll assist this whole year. So then she went to university. That's why I did not come to university that other year. Then I began to work again and supported my kid. Then the other year I continued working. Then after that, in 2016, I said, no, now I think I have enough to go to university. Because remember, I had lost my father and I had no one to even pay for me. So I had to gather money to come and register and do all these things and to ensure, because I got NSFAS around October. That's when I got NSFAS. So I had to support myself from that period with the money that I earned while working on that side.
Wow. I think this proves that you started having a relationship with money from a very young age.
Yes, it's been long.
Yeah, it's been long. It's been very long, trust me. And working for it, that's the best part about it.
Yeah,
would you ever consider yourself as somebody who's very financially literate? Because I know that you go extra mile in terms of ensuring that you don't go broke. Like you're into Forex and those things.
What happens, my brother, is that when you learn to hustle, at some point, but last year is what was one of the bad years that I've experienced. I was not able to sustain myself financially. But I had to tell myself that I'm not that kind of person who can suffer. I need to do something. So remember, receiving money, let's say you are receiving a salary for 3 years, then you have to cut and come and want to depend on someone to send you 100 rand, 200 at the end of the month while you're studying. That was one of the bad experiences I ever had. But I had a goal and a vision to say, look, I want to be there. I don't want to be a teacher. My direction is toward that side. Because I remember when I came here to register, the people who were assisting there, when I got there, they said, choose your two modules. Said, I want political science and history. So they were like, hey, wow, you come here prepared. I had studied that back home. That when I get to University of the Free State, I was going to study political science and history. Because being a teacher, I like teaching, but that profession is not for me. I know the direction where I want to head to. So that's why I had to say I must ensure, even though I don't have money, I've used to get money, but now I must learn not to have money, but hustling to get what I want.
Yeah. Let's talk about fatherhood. How has fatherhood changed you?
Ish, my brother, remember, these things, I've developed love for fathering my daughter. I've developed love. Even the minute I spent calling her, talking to her, I feel revived. Remember, I lost my brother. I lost my older brother and my younger brother. So in my mother's womb, I'm the one who's left. So unfortunately, my daughter does not have uncles and stuff. So she's all I have. So that's why my love towards her, she's everything.
Yeah.
So I always want to be there. I wanted to experience the best life. Because I usually have challenges with her mother. She will then, sometimes when I say I'm going to see her, she will text me several times to say, please don't give her money, because she has her ways that she wants us to help her grow. She will say, buy the things that you think she wants, but don't ever give her money. And then I remember the last time I left there, I gave her like 10 rand. We're from the mall, then when I get there, she said she wants money, and I gave her 10 rand. And then I was in trouble to say, you don't listen. Why did you do that? Yeah. So that kind of experience.
Even when you start taking decisions, your decisions now have to include someone. You need to think about someone else before you think about yourself.
That's the thing. The day I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like going to the class, I will have to think, okay, if I don't finish this degree, what will happen to my daughter? She will be like me. No. So I'll then have to come to class.
The reason I started my YouTube channel is because of I wanted to tell stories like yours that are not told. Do you understand? I wanted to create a platform where, and because people have a lot of beautiful stories that we need to tell so that we can inspire other people. And that is the reason why I started the channel. I feel like you've got a very nice story to tell. If you had to take all this and put it in a book, what would be the title of your book? I used to write. I used to write, and in writing, there is this thing that I once came up with. I was saying the mindless brutality of nature. It was because of what I went through. I went through a lot. So that's why I came up with the mindless brutality of nature. The mindless brutality of nature.
Yeah, nature doesn't care you are an orphan or who you are. It happens. So the world does not owe you anything. You are there to fight for survival. Wow. So I think if I then proceed and try to write a book, I'll still maintain that will be the title, The Mindless Brutality of Nature. Yeah.
So I want us to play a game now.
Yeah.
But before we play that game, I want you to tell us about Moyana ALMMC Enterprise.
Okay. Yeah. The reason why I come up with this company is that this company it has a lot of branches.
Okay.
Right. So, but the most brand that I'm focusing on right now is a motivational speaker, whereby I want to empower other people. I want because I believe this, that in each and individual, there is something hidden that the person at this point is not able to discover. So I want to help you discover what you can do best. So that's why we set up a team of well-experienced motivational speakers, because one, I have someone who already has graduated in terms of finance, is a consultant at a certain banker back in Mpumalanga. And there's this guy who's writing books. He's good in terms of motivating. So myself also, mine is just to go there and ensure people who are coming from the same background as mine, they can know it's possible to do it out there without anybody backing you, but you can do it. So that's why I set up this company to say, if you check, it's a Moyana Almec enterprise. The Almec there says African Autonomous Movement Leadership Mentors. So in other words, it's about mentoring also in terms of leadership. This is what I've always had, and I'm about now to propose it to SASCO to say, look guys, now since you have lost elections, now I want to offer my service to the organization. Remember, I'm no longer part of the branch executive team, although I'm now leading in the region. But what I want for the campus is that we must be able to say, how do we come up with authentic leadership? So all those things, I want my company to focus on motivating leaders and make sure that we afford mentorship. Yeah, because I believe that whatever I have, I must be able to give it to someone. Remember, even in SASCO, this is what I was saying when I was a chairperson. I said, I don't want to be that chairperson who was successful in ensuring that we have a whitewash. Then after that, there is nothing. I said, whosoever lead after me must do best more than what I did. And if you check, after I led, it was Comrade Mhlangani. He carried it as well. And got 8-0. Yeah. I got 7-0 and he come back. It was big and bad. So that was what I had wanted it to be, to say, whosoever comes after me must do the best. So even when I go out there to motivate, they must do the best. If there's someone who's in my situation, who have passed who's currently going through what I've gone through, they must be able to come out and tell us more than what I did.
Yeah. This is fun, man. I'm enjoying this, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play this game, man. So what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna give you a name and then you tell me a story. It could be anything that any story you wanna tell about that person. How did you meet that person? Something good that happened that you know between the two of you, or anything, Jay. Right. So I'm gonna give you a name, then you tell me any story that you know about that particular individual.
Okay. Yeah, I met Comrade Mcebo Dlamini. We first spoke on the phone when he was telling me, I would like to come to your campus. And remember, I was then chairperson by then. We spoke on the phone and I said, okay, no, I really want you to be on my campus. But at this current and your status, I would like you to make it to give it to the region. Then I contacted Comrade Tower and said, Comrade Tower, look, Mcebo said he would like to come to our campus. So please continue the engagement with him. So when he arrived, we met down there in the corridor from this route from DH. So when we met, he was like, Arthur, yes. So you see, on that moment, what inspired me is that Mcebo is one guy who's humble, yet radical. So which means we kind of have like the same character, not really the same, but he's humble, he's radical. But there is something about me that, I'm radical to a certain extent. I'm able to go very radical, but I know where to limit the radicalness, because the radical does not work in every approach. But do
you guys still talk to them now?
Yeah, I remember the last time we were talking, it was in December, when I was going home. We were talking about the ANC conference. So on WhatsApp, I was saying, and what I was telling him would say, I would really want you to contest for the ANC Youth League. Then I was saying, no, as soon as people want us to, I will do. Because I remember the time I had made an event about Polo Sompatan, who was running for secretary for ANC Youth League nationally. He was contesting. I don't know if now he's still available. So I said to him, do you know this guy? Because I was saying, if you're running for president, can this be your secretary? So that's when our last time conversed.
You big, man.
Yes.
Okay, what's it the chief whip
of the Free State Legislature?
Exactly.
Yeah, Comrade Vusi Shabalala, from the first day I met him, to him I saw a leader. He is not there. he's here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So that's one thing that made us to connect. What I was telling you here to say, I told Prof. Naidu to say, you must then go down, meet students, greet. That's exactly how this man does. You will not find him always in the office. You will find him on the ground.
Yeah, or
speaking with students. Even when he gets you on campus, he's not someone who's going to come and sit there while you're campaigning so that people can come and take. You will go with him around. He will stop students and speak. What are the challenges? Can you vote SASCO? Even students, I remember a student saying to him, no, I'm not going to vote for SASCO because SASCO is not do that and don't do this. He said to them, you are right. Because these people are supposed to do something. But can you give them then a chance? You see, he's always on the ground. So, Comrade Vusi Shabalala, I like his character. I like the charisma. I really want to see him far in his leadership.
Isma Hashuli?
I've met Isma Hashule from afar. I just saw him, I think it was recent now, during the mid-by.
What was your impression about him?
Yeah, what
especially with what the media is portraying him as.
Yeah, you know, this is what I always say. The media is biased towards what they want, or they want to give us a certain narrative. And at the end, we find that the narrative they want to give us is not what is exactly things are. When I saw him addressing the masses there, you know, to him I saw a leader. Why do I say that? He was giving people not exactly what they want to hear, but he was giving people what they need. So that's why I saw that this person has the leadership qualities. Because you must not always tell people what they want to hear. You must give them something that they will need. So in him I saw a leader. Really, it's good.
Okay, let's come to Fezile then.
Oh, Fezile, I know Comrade Shandu. Remember, I even told you that she approached me to say, Comrade Moyana, can you, because I see the quality and the capacity. She has been on my side since day one in office. She became someone that I went there to say, Comrade, can you give me advice? When things were tough.
She's a very supportive.
She's very supportive. When things were tough, she would tell me, no, Comrade, no, we'll achieve this. I know she likes to laugh. She will first laugh at you, but she'll tell you, no, my leader, you just need to enjoy. We're going to achieve this. We're going to support. Even the whitewash, we were speaking early before election that we're going to win this whitewash. And remember, even there's a post when Moyana posted and said Fezi and Arthur are the ones who are. Because I think people were able to recognize she became the pillar of my force. Where I have to go and get power. Because she was always there with me. That's why.
And she did not only support you in private, even in public.
She supported me. In everything. She supported me in everything. In my leadership term, I really experienced support from Comrade Shamba.
Okay, Hlalele, Masupa Hlalele?
Comrade Masupa, he's a good man. Comrade Masupa, you would remember that we had once had quarrel, but our quarrel was not a personal quarrel because now we still talk, we're doing everything. It was issues of organization where we had to draw lines to say, now comrade here, because remember my interest is all about the students. So when the comrade did not do what is right, we had to follow organizational principles and recall the men. But today we speak like nothing has ever happened because he also understood that this was never a personal matter, but it was an organizational. And that's why today I commend him as a credible leader because he's still with SASCO even today. So that shows him as a good leader.
And then Sakile?
Comrade Mungoni. Yeah, you know, I don't have really much to say about Comrade Mungoni, but Comrade Sakile is somebody that I have worked with. That even himself, that's why he will tell you, would see, Arthur is my chairperson, he deployed me. He will tell you that now and then. Because to him, I took him as as someone I'm leading with, and I became an advisor to him. So that's why most of the things we're doing together. But Comrade Sakile is someone who he has a weakness of pride, you see. He has a weakness of pride. And sometimes he speaks just because he needs to speak. Because I usually always tell him that you don't speak to impress, speak to address. So most of the time, Comrade Sakile will speak to impress, you see. So I think he makes a good leader.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of negative weakness that he has that might therefore hinder him. Because there are certain things that you cannot just do, right? Like, this is what I was always telling him, that when you go to the meeting, let's say when you're in the meeting with management, and they speak something that you don't agree with, you don't have to insult.
You don't
have to insult. We might not agree, but we must not be enemies. We must always forge a way of finding a solution that is favorable to all of us. So I think if he can fix some certain things, he might be the best leader. But for now,
so you guys are still good, you're still with each other and everything.
No, not really good. If you would understand, if I meet with Comrade Sakile, I don't think we can laugh when we're meeting with people, but if you meet in this thing, no one's going to reach anyone. Not that because what happened to me, I felt to me it was really painful. Even now, losing election to Sadesmo, I had no problem. I know that SASCO, we made mistakes. But losing election to independent, become a personal matter, it was painful to me. It was a betrayal.
It was very painful.
Because Comrade Sakile, he contested me to become a chairperson, if you would remember, when I was voted as a chairperson. He contested me, but then he became the deputy secretary. From there, even himself to be who he is today was because of SASCO. But what he has done to SASCO, because some of us will take SASCO into our heart. So when this betrayal that happened, I didn't take it lightly. Yeah.
Okay, the last one, Selwani Mili.
Situation, you know. Yeah.
Any story you hear about her?
No, Selwani, she's amazing.
And she's speaking of writing, she's a great writer.
She's intelligent.
She's a great
supersede nature. In terms of writing, she's the best.
Yeah.
I always tell her that you need to come up with a book.
Yeah,
you need to write a book. Sometimes I used to say, can we do it together then? Because I know I might not even contribute just to be there because she's the best. And
we've been seeing the work that she's doing with the newspaper, her ability to tell stories. It's amazing.
But what is more important that she helped me a lot. At some point, I had lost self-confidence, but she brought my confidence.
Wow.
So she's like me. She always do it for other people. She does it for other people. So which means what connected us is that sometimes we forget about ourselves and has to think about other people. So yeah, to me, and she became more like a mother figure to me. Her advices and all that, I appreciate it. She's good.
Awesome, man. I had so much fun shooting this. Thank you very much for.
No, thank you very much.
And that's how it all went for me, for Promise and Moyana. Catch the next episode and remember to like, leave a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. Sharp, sharp.
76 sayofuna abafundisi obaqeqesha uSteven Biko wena ugeneral